Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Nisa Purnamasari. People usually call me Nisa. I'm from English Study Program Class A. Okay, here I will explain about tenses. There are 16 tenses that I will explain. The first is simple present tense. Simple present tense is a sentence that tells an event is a happening in a present. The formula is if positive subject plus verb one and as or s plus object plus complement. Where example is Puja cooks another for her mom. It is subject plus do or does plus not plus verb one plus object plus complement. Where example is Puja does not cooks cook another for her mom. Interrogative, do or does plus subject plus verb one plus object plus complement. Where example is does Puja cook a noodle for her mom? The second is simple present continuous tense. Simple present continuous tense is an event where the subject is carrying ongoing activity. Formula is subject plus to be, am is are plus verb in plus object plus complement. Where example is Nisa is for explaining tenses now. Where negative is subject plus to be, am is are plus not plus verb in plus complement plus object plus complement. Where example is Nisa is not explaining tenses now. If interrogative, subject plus to be, am is are plus verb in plus object plus complement. Where example is Nisa explaining tenses now? Simple past tense. Simple past tense is a sentence that tell of the event or happened in the past. Where formula is positive subject plus verb to plus object plus complement. Where example is Ara ate a chicken last dinner. Where negative is subject plus did plus not plus verb one plus object plus complement. Example is Ara did not. We must use verb one. Meaning is Ara did not eat chicken last dinner. Where interrogative is did plus subject plus verb one plus object plus complement. Example is did Ara eat a chicken last dinner? Four is simple past continuous tense. Simple past continuous tense is a sentence that tells of event that was taking place in the past. The formula is positive subject plus to be, was or were plus verb in plus object plus complement. Where example is I was going to Belitung for vacation when my uncle got sick last month. Where negative is subject plus to be, was or were plus not plus verb in plus object plus complement. Where example is I was not going to Belitung for vacation when my uncle got sick last month. Negative is to be, was or were plus subject plus verb in plus object plus complement. Example is was you going to Belitung for vacation when your uncle got sick last month? The fifth is simple perfect tense. Simple perfect tense is there is no change, but we must use have or has. When formula is subject plus have or has plus verb 3 plus object plus complement. For example is they have gone. Negative is subject plus have or has plus not plus verb 3. Where example is they have not gone. Interrogative is have or has plus subject plus verb 3 plus object plus complement. For example is have they gone? Sixth is simple present continuous tense. Simple present continuous tense is a sentence that describes an event that is happening but will continue in the future. Formula is if positive subject plus have or has plus been plus verb in plus object plus complement. Where example is they have been learning English for 1 year. If negative subject plus have or has plus not plus been plus verb in. Where example is they have not been learning English for 1 year. If interrogative is have have they been learning English for 1 year? Seven is simple past perfect tense. Simple past perfect tense is an event happened in the past before another event in the past. Where formula is if positive subject plus had plus verb 3 plus object plus complement. Where example is I had studied last night. If negative subject plus had plus not plus verb 3 plus object plus complement. Whereas the example is I had not studied last night. If interrogative is had you studied last night? The act is simple past perfect continuous tense. Simple past perfect continuous tense is describe event that have already happened in the past. Where formula is if positive subject plus had plus been plus verb in plus object plus complement. Where example is I had been cooking lempah kuning when you come yesterday. Negative is subject plus had plus not plus been plus verb in plus object plus complement. Example is I had not been cooking lempah kuning when you come yesterday. Interrogative is had plus subject plus been plus verb in plus object plus complement. Where example is had you been cooking lempah kuning when you come yesterday. The nine simple future tense. Simple future tense is event that will happen in the future. Where formula is subject plus will or shall plus verb one plus object plus complement. Where example is I will go to Parai Beach next week. If negative is subject plus will or shall plus not plus verb one plus object plus complement. Example is I will not go to Parai Beach next week. Where interrogative is will you go to Parai Beach next week? And is simple future continuous tense. Is a verb tense that show an action happening over a period in the future. Formula is if positive subject plus will or shall plus be plus verb in plus object plus complement. For example, I will be dancing all night. If negative subject plus will or shall plus not plus be plus verb in plus object plus complement. For example, I will not be dancing all night. If interrogative, will or shall plus subject plus be plus verb in plus object plus complement. For example, will I be dancing all night? 11. Simple future perfect tense is an event that has finished occurring in the future when another event occurs. Where formula is if positive subject plus will or shall plus have or has plus verb 3 plus object plus complement. Example is Puja will has slept if you call her. If negative subject plus will or shall plus not plus have or has plus verb 3 plus object plus complement. Example is Puja will not has slept if you call her. If interrogative, will Puja has slept if I call her? The simple future perfect continuous tense is show that something start in the past and is continue at the present time. Where formula is if positive subject plus will or shall plus have or has plus been plus verb in plus object plus complement. Where example is she will have been waiting for you when you meet her tonight. If negative, subject plus will or shall plus not plus have or has plus been plus verb in plus object plus complement. Example is she will not have been waiting for you when you meet her tonight. If interrogative, will or shall plus subject plus have or has plus been plus verb in plus object plus complement. Example is will you have been waiting for you when you meet her tonight? The 13th simple past future tense is an even in the futures but using in the past. Where formula is if positive subject plus word or should plus verb 1 plus object plus complement. Example is it would work if you visit it on time. If negative, subject plus would or should plus not plus verb 1 plus object plus complement. Example is it will not work if you visit it on time. Would or should plus subject plus verb 1 plus object plus complement. Example is it will work if you visit it on time. The 14th simple past future continuous tense is the event of changing the verb at the time that will take place in the past, where formula is positive subject plus would or should plus be plus verb in plus object plus complement. Example is Umar will be cleaning the room if he came yesterday morning. If negative, subject plus would or should plus not plus be plus verb in plus object plus complement. Where example is Umar would not be cleaning room if he came yesterday morning. If interrogative, would or should plus subject plus verb in plus object plus complement. Example is would Umar be cleaning the room if he came yesterday morning? 15. Simple past future perfect tense is sentence or tension that have the main function of expressing ideas in the past, where formula is positive subject plus would or should plus have plus verb 3 plus object plus complement. Example is Baim should have done his job yesterday. If negative, subject plus would or should plus not plus have plus verb 3 plus object plus complement. Example is Baim should not done his job yesterday. Interrogative, would or should plus subject plus have plus verb 3 plus object plus complement. Example is should Baim have done his job yesterday? 16th, simple past future perfect continuous tense is an event that should have taken place in the past, where formula is if positive, subject plus would or should plus have or has plus been plus verb in plus object plus complement. Example is they would have been staying at this town for a long ago. If negative, subject plus would or should plus not plus have or has plus been plus verb in plus object plus complement. Example is they would not have been staying at this town for a long ago. If interrogative, would or should plus subject plus have or has plus been plus verb in plus object plus complement. Example is would they have been staying in this town for a long ago? Okay, thank you for watching my video. I'm sorry if there were mistakes or disturbing sounds. And don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye!